Hey everybody, welcome to Zanzibar. I'm Paul. Hope everybody is doing well in this first 3 weeks of spring or so. Great time to be a sports fan. The March Madness just wrapped up. NBA season is winding down. Playoffs are starting soon. NHL season is winding down. Teams are gearing up for the playoffs, which starts in a few weeks. And baseball is back. I didn't think we'd be saying that after the lockout and everybody seemed so far away on their negotiations, but they made an agreement. Spring training's almost over. Baseball season is right around the corner. So I thought it would be kind of fun to bring in Rick Kyees from Life, Sports, Music, and Beer podcast to join me and make some picks for the upcoming season. I've always wanted to do that, and we did a little research, very unscientific. We'll see what happens. So without further ado, here are our picks for the 2022 Major League Baseball season. Enjoy. And joining me right now from Life, Sports, Music, and Beer podcast is Rick Kyees. Rick, thanks for coming on today.
What's up, Paul? How we doing, man?
It's going to be a fun show.
Yeah.
Baseball season starting. I'm glad the lockout's over with.
Yes.
We got baseball back, and it's fun. It'll be a fun summer.
Very much.
So what I figure that we could do is, since you're up in Ohio, you're a Detroit Tiger fan, American League. I'm a Cardinal fan, National League. So I figure what we could do is you could break down some of the teams in the American League, and I'll take a look at some of the National League teams.
Sounds great to me.
And have fun with it.
Yes, sir.
And take it away.
All right. I am going to start in the East. We'll go alphabetical order on this. So we'll start in the East. My order of finish in the East is going to be Toronto. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Ralph. Toronto, New York, and then Tampa Bay. New York, I'll get to in a second. They just keep loading up with power. The problem is, to me, you don't win championships by hitting 40 bombs that are solo shots half the time. There's got to be people that hit for average in this lineup, and I just don't see it in their lineup. I see a bunch of 50 home run hitters that just aren't going to pan out to me. So Toronto, I'm going to start in the East as winning the East. Their giant acquisition, obviously, if you haven't lived under a rock, is George Springer. They grabbed him from Houston. Big piece because there's your leadoff, and he's a shutdown defender too, with good pop in the one spot. Again, like I was telling you before the show started, this lineup feels to me almost like an age check for us old people. As I continue to go on this, you'll understand what I'm saying here. Hitting second is Bichette, but not Dante Bichette. I don't believe son or anything like that. But shortstop is Bichette. 3-hole, and who I think, a little spoiler alert, will be the American League MVP is Vladdy Guerrero Jr. That's one that I watched his dad in his prime. Hitting in the 4-hole is Mr. Hernandez playing right field. 5-hole, Chapman at third. Number 6 playing left field is Gurriel Jr. Number 7 DHing for them is Kirk. And once again, the shot into my age factor is at the 8-hole, and Paul didn't know this, and I think he just got called up, so he is new, is Biggio at second base. Yes, that Biggio, guys, Craig's son.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and the 9-hole hitter is Jansen, the catcher. The rotation is interesting because I think this is where they can get beat. They are solid through 3. I just don't know much about their closer, and honestly, their 4 and 5 seem suspect to me. You got Barrios, you got Kevin Gausman, then obviously everybody knows Ryu. I believe he played for Tampa for a few years. If not, then and then Alec Manoah and Kikuchi. Their closer is right-hander Jordan Romano. So I do have them winning just because, honestly, if you look at that lineup, it's just loaded with runs with some average. Springer, I'm telling you, is a huge get for them as far as leadoff. At the 2-hole, we got New York, this for Ralph. So they had an acquisition, looks like Rizzo they got at first base. Now, this is how loaded this team is with power hitting. When you have Rizzo hitting leadoff at first base.
Wow, yeah.
That's a little crazy to me.
Yeah.
But then you have Judge hitting second in right field, and you go, well, who the hell can hit cleanup? Why would he hit it too? Well, you got Gallo at 3, left fielder, and then you have Stanton at the 4 hole. Makes sense. Oh, they also went out and got Josh Donaldson at third base. So you're looking at 1 through 5 who have all hit over 30 bombs in their careers and usually do. Torres at second base, Hicks center field, Kiner Falefa at shortstop, and the new one, tough name, Shioka, the catcher. I believe that's why they let go. Yeah, thank you. And here's why the Yankees also will not win the East, because their pitching is suspect as well. Severino's back, but we'll see how long he can last. He always seems to be ouchy. You know, Garrett Cole's the man, so he'll be Garrett Cole. You got Jordan Montgomery, Nestor Cortez, and Jamison Taillon. And of course, you National Leaguers know their closer, Aroldis Chapman. Mr. Lefty from Cincy. Yeah.
Yep. I am glad he went over to the Yankees.
Yes. He's a presence. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
And third in the division, we got Tampa Bay Lightning. Leadoff hitter is Lowe at second base.
Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
We were talking hockey before this, so
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Lightning. We just call them Lightning.
Okay, sure.
Florida doesn't deserve baseball teams anyways. Let's go on. Lowe at second base, or hockey teams for that matter.
Right.
Lowe at second. Got Franco at shortstop. You got, was that Adonia at left field. Austin Meadows DH. Diaz at third. Choi at first. Zunino catching. You have that's a great name. I can't even pronounce that name. Okay, well, he's their center fielder. Kramer, I'm sorry, it's just bad. And Margot in right field. Their pitching is pretty solid because they have Kluber, Corey Kluber. They got Kluber. They got McClanahan, Rasmussen, Patino, and Yarborough. Their closer is Kittredge, Andrew Kittredge. What I found a little interesting is, lefty with the Yankees. Everybody else that I've seen so far are right-handed closers in this division. This division doesn't warrant a lot of talk about anybody else, to be honest. I think these top 3 are the runaways this year. Boston, everybody can talk about Boston. I just don't think they have the horses to stay with these 3. Baltimore, interesting story with a couple of their pitchers, because they have King Felix and they have Harvey, and I think they're both kind of washed up now. So we'll see if they can get any kind of production out of them. It'd just be a bonus. But again, if you look at these 3 teams, you may look at 3 teams in 90 plus wins. I mean, it's insane, the East. So that's who I have. But I do have Toronto coming out of the East.
It seems funny having Boston not in the top 2.
I totally agree.
Top 3.
Totally agree. Everybody, the purists, where's the New York Boston? Look, guys, we have to watch them every time they play each other on ESPN. So I don't want to see them anymore, honestly.
And this year, if the Yankees are that good and Boston's that bad, it's going to get old.
It's going to get old real quick. There's no reason. Best rivalry, I get that. Problem is, in baseball, it becomes overkill when you show every single game.
Right.
There's a reason the rivalries in football are great. Is because they play once a year, and that's all you need it. So anyways, that's where we're at. Toronto, I definitely have winning that division. I could see Tampa pushing them actually more than New York with the pitching. So
interesting. Awesome. I like it.
Yep.
Before I get into mine, what do you think of the DH in the National League?
I love it. I actually love it. Yeah, I actually do. I know purists in baseball hate me for that, make a pitcher hit. I like it because now National League pitchers' ERAs aren't going to be under 2. and everybody goes, see, they're the best pitchers ever. No, now you got to face a DH that looks like a defensive end.
Yeah.
You know,
true.
you don't
That
get
is
an
true.
out in the 9 hole every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about both sides of it. I mean, I just think it's what they want, because the National League needs more runs for the viewership, and that's why they did it, in my opinion.
I like the strategy of the pitcher hitting. You know, walk him, don't or pitch to the 8-hitter, or
pitch to the 8, make them
yeah.
lead off next inning. Easy outs, or walk the 8 hole to get to the 9.
Mm-hmm.
You know, intentionally walking an 8. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or having the batter or the pitcher bat 8th.
Yeah,
like some managers do, and
so they can roll it over
to
the
the
9.
2 leadoff guys. But who knows?
Yeah, pretty cool. The strategy of baseball, it takes it away a little bit, for sure.
That is true. But you know,
sure,
it'll keep guys playing a little longer.
Yep.
I.e. Pujols back in St. Louis.
You got it.
That more on that in a minute.
Yes, I expected.
So you did the American League East. I will do the National League East.
Okay.
And I have the Braves, and I had the Mets finishing second, followed by the Phillies, and then the Marlins and Nationals. But today we're recording this on April Fool's Day, and this is not a joke. Jacob deGrom is out. He hurt his shoulder. He is out for at least 4 weeks. 4 weeks, I heard, not throwing a ball, touching a ball, and then he's going to have 4 weeks to build up arm strength. So you're looking 2.5 months at least to get him back. So that's going to be a big hit for the Mets. So let me get to the Braves first.
All right.
Defending World Series champs. They look like they can take another big run this year, although losing Freddie Freeman to the Dodgers hurts. But still, they have a powerful lineup, chock full of guys who are capable of hitting 25-plus bombs. They acquired Matt Olson from Oakland, and he'll certainly fill the Freeman void.
He will.
And most importantly for the owners, he was a lot cheaper. So they went out and signed Kenley Jansen and his 38 saves from the Dodgers to finish games out this year. They also signed Colin McCuff and his 1.55 ERA, over 64 innings from the Rays, and to make a good bullpen even better. As far as the starting rotation goes, Max Fried is back as a team ace, along with Charlie Morton and Ian Anderson. That's a pretty darn good 1-2-3 punch right there. They're gonna make opposing hitters look crazy. Now, I didn't change this from today. I should have. So for the Mets, who wouldn't love having a rotation of Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, and Chris Bassett, and Carlos Carrasco?
Yeah.
Okay, take deGrom out of there.
Yeah.
And then Max Scherzer, he's what, 35 years old?
Yep.
He's got a lot of mileage on that arm. How is he going to hold up being the ace?
That's the question.
Now all of a sudden the Mets have a big question mark.
Yes.
So, you don't know what their starting rotation is. That's why I'm kind of thinking that the Phillies might leapfrog over the Mets. But I have the Mets up here, so we'll continue with them. They also signed Starling Marte, Mark Canha, and Eduardo Escobar in this offseason to bolster a pretty strong lineup. They also have speedy Francisco Lindor and the RBI machine Pete Alonso in the middle of that lineup. So there's going to be plenty of runs crossing the plate in New York. There'll also be a lot of strikeouts. Perhaps that'll be the difference. Well, not now.
Not now.
With a healthy deGrom, it could be a difference between first and second place finish. But one of the good things about deGrom coming back mid-season is he's going to be fresh.
Yes.
Just don't know how stretched out he'll be, but he'll be good to go for the stretch run there.
As long as they can tread water. Yep.
And hopefully Max Scherzer doesn't blow a tire or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, hockey term, blow an arm.
Yes, blow an arm. Yeah.
Okay, over in the city of brotherly love, a couple of big signings in Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos. give them one of the best home run hitting lineups in baseball. And I am telling you, I'm glad Nick Castellanos is out of the National League Central. They will have four guys: Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Castellanos, and Reyes Hoskins, who can each hit almost 40 home runs. Again, with all the home run hitters comes a lot of strikeouts, but that won't be the thing that holds this Philly team's back from contending this year. Just like last year, their defense was one of the worst in the majors. That's not going to change this year.
That's not going to help. Yeah.
No, I mean, if you can't field the ball, you're not going to win too many games, no matter how good the pitchers are.
Right.
They do have a pretty good looking rotation with Aaron Nola and his 223 strikeouts from last year. Maybe that's what they should do. Just strike everybody out. And
just strike them out. Yeah, easy game.
Yeah. Followed by Zach Wheeler, who had 14 wins and almost 250 strikeouts last year. Kyle Gibson and Ranger Suarez are also in the rotation. Injury-prone Corey Newble will be called upon to be their closer, but see how he's kind of fragile too. See how that holds up. And as far as the Marlins and the Nationals, it seemed like once Bryce Harper left the Nationals, and I really don't like saying that, that team kind of went downhill quick. But then when you have Derek Jeter quitting something is seriously wrong with that team.
Yes.
And that's what happened in South Florida. They'll be selling off players left and right probably throughout the year. The Nationals, well, Juan Soto can't play every position, unfortunately. Wonder how long he'll stick around. So we got the Braves, Mets, Phillies, flop those two, and then you got the Marlins and Nationals bringing up the rear in the East.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's fly over to the Central. AL Central here locally, the Cleveland Guardians. I really don't even want to get started on the name stuff. Oh my God. Anyways, as they had to fight for the right of that name because the Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie, was trying to sue them for that name.
Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, there's supposedly two towers at the when you come into Cleveland, and it's supposed to be the Guardians of the City. So that's what the logo is supposed to be based up. Folks, if you like any of that shit, I can't talk to you about baseball. I can't talk to you about anything like how Washington goes to the football club. But anyways, let's go on with this. AL Central, pretty easy to call. The White Sox are absolutely stacked. Again, Chicago looks like the clear-cut favorite to me in the Central. You've got Tim Anderson, again, a good candidate for AL Player of the Year. If Vladdy doesn't do what Vladdy's supposed to do, then Anderson can run away with this, honestly. You got Manchada at third, Abreu, an absolute stud at first base, Jimenez in left, Grandal catching, Robert in center field, Vaughn in right field, Sheets DHing, Harrison at second. Your pitching lineup looks like this. Rotation is Giolito, who used to be the worst pitcher, actually, ERA-wise, in the American League a few years ago, and then just turned his career around in 1 year. Wow. A no-hitter, and turned out to be one of the better pitchers in the game. Lance Lynn, Dylan Cease, Dallas Keuchel. I'm sure you National League folk remember him. And Michael Kopech. The reliever is Liam Hendricks. I apologize. So Chicago, like I said, depth, especially in the lineup, loaded with speed, average, and power. They've got a balanced, one of the best balanced lineups I've seen. And let's be honest, you don't have to win a whole lot in the Central to win the Central. Go ahead.
Remember when La Russa first took the job up in Chicago, they were questioning whether or not that he'd be the manager to lead this era of players.
Right.
And last year they were pretty darn good too.
Last year they were really good. Yep.
He's back in his old tricks.
Yeah, he's legit. The other part that doesn't hurt them, and I looked this up, they have the second easiest schedule I believe the number one easiest schedule was the Braves. So it's the two, or no, not the
Wow.
Braves. I'm sorry. It's going to be another NL Central team because that's what they were talking about. The winning percentage for the combined for the schedule for the White Sox opponents is like a 484 this
Ooh.
year. So because you get the Tigers, you get Kansas City, you get the Guardians a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times a year. So that's why I think they're pretty much a shoe in to run away with this. I do have now this is where I get a little homered. Minnesota, I have second, although I'm not 100% sure about that because I'll get into why here in a minute, and it'll be a off the radar kind of pick. But those who are looking at baseball are saying that it's not way off. Minnesota, of course, will always be there. I don't know if they're going to be second, third, or even contend because the Central, again, to
Mm-hmm.
me, is the most coin flip division other than Chicago just being loaded. If they get run into injuries, that's the $1 million question. You
Which
got
could
all right,
happen in the
every
season. I mean,
yes, yeah.
especially this
I
season, you'll
mean,
have pitchers falling left and right.
pitchers and position players. Again, I don't know how deep these farm systems are. I didn't dig into that.
Mm-hmm.
But who do they got on the bench? What do they have behind it? I mean,
Right.
that's what you got to know. 162 games long season.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota got Arias at third, Buxton center fielder. This they went out and got Correa, the shortstop from
Mm-hmm.
Houston. So
Mm-hmm.
Houston lost a couple big pieces, but it just doesn't matter to them. Left fielder Kirilloff, second baseman Polanco, Sanchez. They went and got, I believe that's Gary from the Yankees. You got Kepler and right. Sano at first and Jeffers catching. Their rotation looks like this. Sonny Gray, they went out and got, I believe they got him from Cincy. Joe
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, Dylan Bundy, Bailey Ober, and Randy Dobnik. Their closer, left-hander Taylor Rogers. Now, this is what I found interesting in this league is two left-handed closers in the AL Central out of the top three teams that we have. So I found that
That is
interesting.
strange. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So my number three team, and I think they are going to compete for number two, to be honest, is my Tigers. Kansas City and the Guardians really are just so depleted. Uh, Cleveland pitching staff is legit. They just have nobody in the line. They have two players in that lineup. That's not enough to get it done. Detroit's
Right.
got some prospects that came up, and I just like this lineup. Badu, if you haven't seen this kid play, please watch him. One of the fastest guys I've ever seen in baseball. Left fielder for them, he's leading off. You got Grossman in right field. You got Baez, who we stole from the Mets. I don't know if it's a steal because at 140 million or whatever we paid him,
Wow.
that's not really a steal, but
No.
it definitely shores up that shortstop spot for us. Miggy is going to DH to start out. I really think this will be his last year, either as a Tiger or in baseball. I just think if I'm a Tiger fan, I'm begging for them to let him go and let him get one run like a Stafford with a team that has a shot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's earned it. He deserves it. So Candelario at third, Shoop at second, and Torkelson, the number one draft pick, is starting at first base this year. We took Tucker Barnhart at catcher, and we've got Riley Green, another top 5 draft pick in center field. So we're starting 2 of them. Two of
Wow.
our prospects are up and ready to go. So that's good to see because you just
Mm-hmm.
don't know how long or if they ever pan out. And
Right.
obviously these two did. To see both of them in the lineups, exciting, very exciting.
You know how old those two are?
I don't. I think Barnhart, this has got to be his 3rd year, so maybe 22,
Wow.
maybe. Riley,
Wow.
I couldn't tell you honestly. I could not even guess on that. The part that's exciting for Tigers fans, we know what this rotation is. It's young and it's exciting. It's what kept us in most games. Now with offense, can we do it? We just took Eduardo Rodriguez from the Yankees, Casey Mize, Tariq Skubal, who had a good year last year, Matt Manning, and Michael Pineda. Our closer is another lefty, Gregory Soto. So I do have the Central. Like I said, if Chicago stays healthy, I don't think it's a race. I think it's a 10 game, 11 game difference. But I do think second and third is an absolute dogfight, and that could come down to a possibility for a wild card with the new expansion. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for once in a long time, as long as they don't pull their typical April. You can't win it in April, but you sure can lose it in April.
Definitely.
I will say
definitely. And with the extra wild card, I mean,
that. Yep,
just get in, see what happens. Anything can
that's
happen.
exactly
So,
right. Yep.
yeah, good deal. Good deal. All right. We'll do the National League Central next.
Your boys.
So I have a toss up between the Cardinals and the Brewers. Both I think are very good teams. Both have decent starting pitching. Milwaukee just has one hell of a bullpen, though.
Yeah, they do.
I'm going to go the hometown route, and I'm going to pick the Cardinals. Go ahead and yell at me for that, but hey, I'm from St. Louis. I can do what I want.
I'd be mad at you if you didn't.
So they acquired Steven Matz from the Blue Jays to strengthen their rotation, not figuring that Jack Flaherty will miss some time on the IL. Don't know how long he's going to be out. Right. But the trio of Adam Wainwright, Yadier Molina, and now Albert Pujols ending their careers together. The end of the year, all year, you're not going to get a seat at the Busch Stadium.
Probably not. Not.
It's going to be just one fantastic story. I mean, if they're in it, oh my God, it would be fantastic. But either way, it's going to be great.
Yep.
So their rotation is going to be Wainwright, Michaelis, Matz. I didn't write this down. I should have. And I mean, those are three strong ones, and the other two are going to be long relievers.
Right.
Reyes is hurt again. Alex Reyes is hurt again. He's seems to always be hurt. Young prospect, but so that could be the question mark. Like you said, on another team, the 4 and 5 starters could be tough.
Yeah.
And if Wainwright and Yadi stay healthy, they could set the new MLB record for most games as a battery mate,
nice.
Which will probably never be broken.
Right.
Let's see. As far as the starting lineup, you got Goldschmidt, Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Arenado, and now Pujols. Right. The first three, they can hit 30 home runs in the middle of the lineup. Then you throw in Pujols, you got an RBI machine there. But he's only going to be used as a DH against left-handed pitchers. So
got it.
We'll see how that pans out. Part of the thing about him coming here, I love seeing him come back and finishing his career here, but is he taking a spot away from somebody?
Right.
We'll see. Up in Milwaukee, great starting rotation. They have 2 Cy Young candidates, Corbin Burns and Braden Woodruff. Those 2 are fantastic. I hate facing them. All-star Freddie Peralta and potential Rookie of the Year candidate Aaron Ashby. They're just crazy up there. Then you have lights out bullpen led by closer Josh Hader and his long hair. 34 saves from last year, and Fireball, a kid from St. Louis, by the way, Devin Walker. Okay. They just setup guys are incredible. The closer's incredible. The starting pitching is incredible. So they're going to be tough too. I wouldn't be upset if they beat out the Cardinals.
Right.
Where was I? They'll throw out a great lineup led by table setter and Gold Glove second baseman Colton Wong. They also feature Willie Adames. I can never get that name right. Christian Yelich, Andrew McCutchen, longtime Pirate, one of my favorite players to watch.
I forgot that he's over there now. Yeah,
he's still playing. I can't imagine he's still going. I don't know how old he is. And then Rowdy Tellez and Hunter Renfroe, who can all slug the ball. Not a cakewalk lineup for sure.
Yep.
Now the lovable Chicago Cubs. They're going to be a solid third place this year. They're not going to have enough to crack the top two. They're not going to be bad enough, unfortunately, um, to be in the bottom two.
Right.
They brought in, was it Seiya Suzuki from
Yes.
Japan? Any relation to Ichiro?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Interesting.
Don't know on that.
Going with the theme of
Yes,
the
I was just thinking the same. Yeah. And remember, there's this Kurt Suzuki still in LA that's a catcher.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all the Suzuki family.
Yeah. And they're fast.
They're fast. They build cars.
But that guy's not going to be enough, whoever's son he is.
Yes.
They might be one season away from complete rebuild. But at least this season they aren't. I don't know why I said at least this season. That hopefully this season they'll be in a rebuild. Anyway, right. The starting lineup won't scare anybody, and I would say the best hitter in that lineup, at least proven hitter, would be Wilson Contreras. Jason Hayward's on his way on the south side of his career. He's dropping fast. Then you have Ian Happ and Suzuki. Patrick Wisdom, former Cardinal, will add some pop again, but again, not enough to get them past the Cards and the Brewers. That brings us to, I didn't even talk about their starting pitching.
No, because you didn't want to.
I didn't want to.
You're like,
And that'll bring up the Reds and the Pirates, bringing up the rear again. You know, when are they ever going to break through? I mean, the Reds,
the Reds ownership might as well be the Browns ownership with what they did to them this year. And that's been all the talk in Ohio, by the way.
Wow.
Just absolutely sold off every good piece they had.
So they might even be worse than the Pirates this year.
They really might be. Yeah.
Wow. Still not the worst team in baseball. I'll get to them in the AL West. But, you know, from what I read, the Pirates, they're not going to contend this year, but they are actually closer to contending. So, you know, maybe fourth, possibly third for the Pirates. Right. You know, I like rooting for the underdogs. I wouldn't mind seeing the Pirates be relevant again. They were a great dynasty in the past. I would love to see them. I love their colors for some reason. Them and the
black and gold. I wish they brought those hats back, the Willie Stargell hats.
Yeah,
they wore those. I'd be all in it because that stadium's beautiful. If you haven't been to that,
I have never been to that stadium.
PNC, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I want to see that stadium. I want to see Wrigley Field before it.
Me too.
Demolishes
and Fenway. I gotta see Fenway.
Gotta see Fenway. Gotta see Fenway. So that's my NL Central. Cardinals, Brewers, flip either of those. Cubs, followed by the Reds and the Pirates.
Nice.
On to the AL West.
I like it, AL West. And folks, don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you what I see. To be the champ, you got to beat the champ. And until somebody beats Houston, they are going to be the champ. Whether or not they're banging on trash cans and calling pitches, I don't give a shit. You got to beat them.
Did you see? I noticed. I was watching the Cardinals Mets preseason or spring training game today, and the catchers have something on their armband.
Yes,
that
they're wearing play calls now, almost like a quarterback's play.
Yeah. Well, no, they have something
arms.
on the inside of their arms where they can press a button.
Oh, really?
The pitch gets delivered to the pitcher. and there's something under his hat.
Oh God.
That
God,
will say
we've gone crazy
inside.
Yeah.
God,
we got like quarterback helmets now where the offensive coordinator can be calling the play in his ear. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how far you've taken us, Houston. Thank you for all of this, you dumbasses. All right. So Altuve leading off, Brantley second. This is why they're still going to win the West, by the way. Altuve, Brantley, Bergman, Alvarez, Gurriel, Tucker, McCormick, Pena, Maldonado. Yes, I'm sure he's related to Candy or one of them. So again, we're old. So again, they lose two of their biggest pieces, and you go, oh, they're in trouble. No, they're not in trouble at all. They're not. I mean, they picked up, they lost Correa and Springer. They picked up a guy from Detroit who's actually going to be a good bench player for them, Nico Goodrum, who's got pop and speed. Their pitching, again, is pretty good. Framber Valdez, you got Jake Odorizzi, Mr. Justin Verlander, who never gets old, trust me. Jose Urquidy and Luis Garcia. Ryan Presley is the closer. Everybody can talk about Verlander, and he's getting old too, but just remember I'm a Tigers fan, so I can tell you that two of the people I've already named are Cy Young guys that Detroit got rid of with your Scherzer and my Verlander. He's the only guy I've ever seen in baseball, period, and I don't care what level you're talking, that in the later innings increases his velocity. And you can go back and look. That's a freak of nature. I mean, period. But then again, if you were married to her, you'd be a freak of nature too. So I know where his fountain of youth is, but this is a family show. Okay. So we got Houston winning that, no problem. Actually, I take that back. There is going to be a problem. They're called the Los Angeles Angels, and they have this other freak of nature called Ohtani, who, by the way, did you see the new rule they implemented for him? I love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. If you don't know the rule, Ohtani, when he's pitching, when they replace him from pitching, he is still allowed to stay in the lineup, I'm assuming as the DH, which I think is a great rule. I think he's a freak of nature, guys. I mean, you don't hardly ever see this in college, that they allow a pitcher to hit and that he hits like that. So what I find amazing too is that he's a leadoff, and then you have Trout hitting second. You have Walsh at first base, Rendon at third, Stassi catching, Marsh in left field, Adele in right, Duffy at second, and Fletcher at shortstop. They have some notable bench players that I wrote down because Justin Upton is on their bench along with Kurt Suzuki, like we were talking about, backup catcher who's like 3 or 4 time Gold Glove at catcher. So they have good plug-in players too, which I always find interesting. The rotation is where they're going to hurt again. And the reason I say that is because they're going to run out, because Syndergaard is back, but how much can he go this year after Tommy John? Can he go full season every start, go deep into starts? Because if he gets hurt or if he's short on this, you have Ohtani, Syndergaard, Patrick Sandoval, Michael Lorenzen, and Jose Suarez. Their relief guy is one of the best in the AL, Raisel Iglesias, and they're solid. I mean, honestly, looking at this division, because I have Seattle third, this may be the tightest race in the AL, in my opinion, because let me go ahead and just jump into Seattle. Have the Mariners in third, Frazier at second base, France at first base. This is funny because you Reds fans, you might as well just call them Cincy Part 2, because you got Winkler DHing. These are the pieces I told you they sold off. Winkler DH, Haniger in outfield, Suarez at third base, Crawford, Rodriguez, Kalenic, and Murphy. I hope for the Reds' sake that Suarez doesn't go off, because everybody knows what Winkler did last year. I think he'll do it again in the DH spot, especially facing American League pitching. So the rotation for Seattle is going to be Robbie Ray, Marco Gonzalez, Chris Flexen, Logan Gilbert, and Matt Brash. Their closers are pretty much by committee. They have Paul Sewald, Ken Giles, and Diego Castillo, all right-handers. So they need to shore up that or find one go-to guy. It's nice that they have 3, but 2 of those will probably be moved into middle relief. And we'll just see how deep they are in the pen.
I've never been a fan of closer by committee.
Me either. Hate it. You need to let a guy know at the beginning of the year. Mentally, they need to know what they're getting into.
Because those closers, they're a different breed. I mean,
they're like field goal kickers. They really are. I mean, you can't mess with their psyche. You can't.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think this division honestly could be a 3-team race till 10 11 games left in the season. I do. I just think it's that
Wow.
tight. I really do. I can see all three of those teams battling on this one. So, but that's who I've got. I do have Houston coming out of there. Just like I said, until to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. So, and can Trout stay healthy? I mean, if Trout can stay healthy, that lineup's as good as they get.
Yeah. Yeah. What about the A's?
I didn't even put those two down. I don't even touch. Nope. A's, no go. No go. They'll win maybe 60, 70 games if they're lucky, I think, this year.
Wow.
Yep.
Still not as bad as the Diamondbacks, I think.
No, probably not.
In the
that was your sleeper for the worst team in baseball.
That was my sleeper, the snorer for the worst team in baseball.
I mean, Kansas City will give them a run, but I think you're right.
And it seems like Arizona Diamondbacks are either really, really bad or they win the World Series.
Yeah, there's no in between. I mean,
how do you? Yeah, come on, guys.
At least you don't tease your fans. Good for you.
That's right. So National League West, break it down here. I got the Dodgers again, followed by the Padres, Giants, Rockies, and Diamondbacks. One of the highest payrolls in baseball. They added Freddie Freeman. Talking about the Dodgers, they have a very potent lineup on a nightly basis. No easy outs in this lineup at all. They have a solid starting trio in Walker Buehler, Julio Urias, and Clayton Kershaw. Although getting into the playoffs, Kershaw is not like he is in the regular season.
No, he's been getting beat up
a lot of times by the Cardinals.
Yes.
Those three will give opposing hitters nightmares. After those three, they'll go with Tyler Anderson, Tony Gonsolin, and Andrew Heaney, and David Price. David Price, isn't he like 8? I mean, he's old.
He's old, but yeah, he's still slinging it.
Yet they're younger than we are.
Yes, I know. It's what I think for people like him and Kershaw, they can last because their deliveries are so funky that it's still hard to pick up. That's what I think made Kershaw what he was, and Price is very similar.
Yeah.
So I can see him out of middle relief. I don't know how long Price is going to last as a starter this year or for the next 2 years, honestly. So
he'd be a good spot starter and early in the season to give
absolutely
the 5 guys a rest. Who was that pitcher up in San Francisco? The really weird motion. He had long hair.
The reliever, the
starter.
The start black hair.
Yeah.
Was he and he was a farmer, right? Is that who you're talking about?
No, I don't think he was a farmer.
No, you sure?
I don't think so.
Crazy delivery, huh?
I mean, he whipped the ball in. It was just really awkward delivery. I don't think he's in the league anymore.
No, I don't think he is either.
I can't think of his name though.
I don't know. Ask your audience to help.
Someone send in a comment.
Yes,
who was that pitcher for the Giants? It's like I can picture him, skinny guy.
Yep.
Real long black hair.
Yep.
Anyway, as far as closer, Kenley Jansen gone from last season. How's Dave Roberts going to handle that situation? Closer by committee again? Not crazy about it. Or we'll go to Blake Treinen, who only had 7 saves last year, and I think he was injured quite a bit too. So we'll see. Regardless, they will be a tough team to beat again this year. They just need to figure out a closer. Now the Padres and Giants, again, they could be flip-flopped. Although the Giants, I think last year was a mirage. They were really good last year. I don't know if it's going to last carry over to this year. But for the Padres, recovery of Fernando Tatis Jr., another son of Fernando Tatis, who we saw when we were younger.
Yes.
Will be big for this club if he's out too long. They fall too far back from the Dodgers. Hopefully, he'll be back sooner rather than later. But up to 3 months is a long time in baseball. And getting him back again, it could be like a midseason acquisition, and he'll be nice and fresh for the playoffs. They do have an okay lineup with some pop. Of course, they have Manny Machado. They picked up Luke Voigt, another St. Louis kid from the Yankees. Funny story about him. His grandma would always, still does, send him money when he hits home runs.
Like, are you serious?
20 or something. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He'll provide firepower in the middle of the lineup if he stays healthy. The rotation of Joe Musgrove and his 203 strikeouts from last year, along with Hugh Darvish, pretty good one. A good 1-2 punch at the top of the rotation, but not a great one. The Giants, like I said, was last year a flash in the pan. Hopefully not for them. They surprised everyone last year for sure. Excuse me. With the departure of Kevin Gausman and the retirement of Buster Posey. Whenever you have a talented quarterback catcher like Posey is, it's hard to fill that position. 2 huge holes to fill. Replacing Posey will be very difficult again this season. I do like their rotation, if I could say it right. But I think they will take a step back this year from last year and finish behind the Padres. Excuse me.
I need to get chew out of your throat.
As far as the Rockies and Diamondbacks, the Rockies, they have the high altitude for them. They'll hit some bombs. I'll bring it up at the bottom of the West. Rockies traded for Chris Bryant, still a bad team. And the Diamondbacks, yeah. they have a hot tub out in the outfield.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Or is it a swimming pool or a hot tub?
It's a swimming pool.
Swimming pool. Okay. Yep. Well, there's that.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Have you been to that stadium?
No, I wish. Yeah. But I love the setup. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
They have a cool logo. Is that about it for them?
That's it for them. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Good for you. Way to go, Diamondbacks.
So those are our picks.
Yep.
Now, Rick, who do you have for the World Series winning the whole shebang?
I'm going to give you the division winners real quick. Houston, Chicago, Toronto, wild cards, LA. And here's my shock. I know I picked Minnesota over Detroit for second, but I said it's a cat fight. I'm having the Tigers jump into a wild card spot in Tampa Bay. I have Toronto winning the AL, going to the World Series. I have Toronto actually winning the whole thing. I don't care who they play out of the NL, honestly. I just love that lineup. I just think they're stacked.
Do they have a retractable roof still in Toronto?
A great question. I believe they do. They have to. Yeah, it's not the old dome. Yeah, it's not the one that Carter hit the home. No. So they do. Yep.
Okay. So that, getting into postseason late October up there, that's going to be pretty cold. So they'll have to have
all
that
domed.
Closed.
Yep.
Okay. So you got the Toronto winning the World Series.
Yes.
So I got the Dodgers winning the Central. Winning the West.
Right.
I'm going to pick the Cardinals to win the Central. And the Braves winning the East. It's going to be the Braves against the Dodgers in the NLCS, and I think the Dodgers are going to take it this year. They're going to go up to Toronto and have a hell of a World Series.
Yeah, it will be. Really will be.
Just to be different, I'm going to pick the Dodgers to win.
Okay, there you go. Well, you have to. You stay NL, I'll stay AL.
All right. I would like to see the Cardinals and Tigers again in the World Series.
That would be awesome.
That was fun. Just like 06.
And 06, yes, when you guys won that one. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a great series. That was fun though. I do remember that. One of my good friends is a Cardinals fan, so we always talk about those.
Yeah. All righty. There we have it.
Do find it funny though that the two coast teams have the biggest payrolls. Ralph's Yankees try to buy World Series every year, and now Magic and the Dodgers are trying to match them and be the West Coast Yankees, basically.
Right. And so, I hear the Lakers aren't even in the playoffs.
No, they got eliminated. Let me tell you how disappointed I am in that. I'm not.
Darn it.
Darn. Sorry, LeBron. See ya.
And I don't follow basketball, so I could care less.
Exactly. I don't even watch it.
Except I do like when high-priced teams like that get kicked out, or not kicked out, eliminated. So yeah,
it just proves my point. You can't plug and play. You guys people act like, hey, we got the best people on paper. Great. How does that translate in the locker room when you got all those egos?
Exactly.
Are they really playing for each other, or they give a shit, to be honest?
Yeah.
So,
but that's why they played the game, I guess.
You got it.
So, all right.
March Madness, brother, tomorrow.
That's right. Who do you have winning?
Baseball 7th is the 7th, right? Starting in 6 days, right?
Thursday, yeah. Thursday afternoon here, I think.
Were giving their Tigers tickets are going for like $5 in the cheap seats.
Really?
I'm like, I may just grab them and go.
Yeah, for opening day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
You might even get one in a Little Caesars box by mid-season because of how bad we may or may not be.
Right.
Hungry Howie's loves giving away free tickets.
Wow. My wife and I used to always go to home openers, and even before that, my dad. And I don't think we're going to make it. Well, we don't have tickets this year, so we're not going to make it. But
yours are going to be expensive. Those are the boys are back in town, and it's going to get expensive.
Yeah, but I'll watch it on TV.
Worth it.
It's not the same watching the Cardinal home opener on TV though.
No,
we do. From what I understand, the Cardinals and the Cincinnati are the only ones that do this. Well, Cincinnati has them parade around downtown, right?
Okay, yeah.
The Cardinals have the players drive in along the warning track.
Oh, and that's cool.
It's awesome. All the players talk about how wonderful it is and everything. And
that's cool.
I mean, I've been to a gazillion of them, and it's amazing. It's fun to watch. It is
that's fantastic.
Fun to watch.
Yeah,
not fun to watch on TV, but it's good in person. So the Hall of Famers and stuff. So
that's awesome. Yeah. Well, hopefully both our teams make it this year. Hopefully you guys win the Central,
and it'll be competitive. Hey, but baseball's back. That's all I care about.
It's back. Now. Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Yep. All right, Rick. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Live Sports, Music, and Beer. You can find Rick with Ralph and Kyle.
Yep.
My cousin
and Paul
Kyle.
Sometimes
me. I'll be in there.
Yes,
sometimes.
Sir.
Yeah, we got our Final Four show coming up next week, I think, right?
You got it. Yep.
So, all right. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Take care. All right. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
So there you have it. Our picks for the year. Hope it all turns out. We'll see. It's a long season. Rick has the Toronto Blue Jays making it to the World Series. I have the Dodgers. A lot can happen in 162 games. Injuries happen. Who knows? Hope you enjoyed the show. My thanks to Rick Kyees from Life Sports, Music, and Beer for joining us today for his scientific picks. He's more of an expert than I am, I'm sure. Make sure you subscribe below and hit that bell so you get notices whenever we have a new episode. Until next time, everybody, stay safe out there. We'll see you soon.